Demetri Alexopoulos, yes, we finally know his last name now. Demetri's arc in Season 4 shows that he is still a voice of reason as a student of Miyagi-Do and anchors himself as someone who does a decent job of following those principles. His character has become more likable as the seasons have gone on, and as I mentioned in my prior video, is a stark contrast compared to his attitude in Season 1. Although he was more in the background again in Season 4, he still had some shining moments that ultimately led to Miyagi-Do being successful in winning the male division. This is why Demetri is still relatable. Let's talk about his continued loyalty and relationship with Eli, his character growth, and more. Let's recap on what we know about Demetri so far. Since this is a continuation of my previous video, Why Demetri is Relatable, I'm only going to recap the events of Season 4. Feel free to skip to the next chapter to avoid the recap, but be warned, you may miss some important details that I may cover in later parts of the video. Demetri, along with the rest of the Miyagi-Do students, struggled to mesh their style with Eagle Fang after the events of the LaRusso house invasion. Witnessing Hawk admiring artwork in the dojo, Demetri educates him about the sparring deck that is pictured. After pitching the idea to the rest of the students, Demetri helps Hawk present the idea to Johnny and Daniel, noting that he double-checked the schematics physics. After Johnny and Daniel begin to understand the value in each other's philosophies, Demetri begins to train under Johnny's tutelage again after he takes the Miyagi-Do students for the day. After getting hit in the primary target during a day of training, Demetri is present during the standoff at the drive-in. Following this, Demetri starts to dig up research on who Terry Silver is when he and Chris show up to the dojo and explains what he finds out to Hawk. He also goes on to tell Hawk that Moon is single again while finding out that Johnny and Daniel are going to have a rematch for control of the dojo. After watching the match end in a draw, Demetri witnesses Hawk show off his new haircut and the alliance disbands as Johnny instructs Eagle Fang to leave. When Daniel tells the students about the new divisions, Demetri tries to recruit Eli to join Miyagi-Do. Eli explains that he quit karate, but Demetri reminds him that at the end of the day, he needs to embrace who he is. After sparring with Mr. LaRusso, Eli returns to Miyagi-Do and Demetri is reunited with his binary brother. At the prom, Demetri is surprised by Yasmin, who came back in time for the prom, as Eli looks on, proud of his friend. When the All Valley rolls around, Demetri helps Miyagi-Do lead initially in the skills division. Thanks to his training, he advances to the semifinals by defeating Robson from All-Star Karate. In the semifinals, Demetri faces former friend and dojo teammate Robbie Keane. Although he loses and doesn't manage to score a point, Demetri is coached by Eli and Daniel to try his best and is complimented for doing so. When Eli wins the finals, Demetri and his teammates congratulate him for winning the championship. Although Cobra Kai wins the Grand Championship for the All Valley, it is assumed that Demetri and Eli will continue training together at Miyagi-Do. Let's first talk about the most endearing quality about Demetri, his loyalty and how that affects his relationship with Eli. As I mentioned in my latest video about Hawk, one of the growing pains of Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang combining their dojos together was the reluctance to initially accept Hawk due to his past actions as a Cobra Kai. This is shown right off the bat in Let's Begin, where Hawk doesn't feel accepted by either team, and we can see how conflicted Demetri is when Nate and Chris tell him to go back to Eagle Fang. I believe that Demetri, as he mentions in Kicks Get Chicks, that he has long since forgiven Hawk. He also had to respect that Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang weren't going to readily accept Hawk so quickly. It was a difficult position to be in, as Eli is his best friend, but he's also loyal to Miyagi-Do as they took him in when no one else would. However, this changed when it's implied that building the Okinawan sparring deck is Hawk's idea and he pitched it to the team. We can also assume that since Demetri told Johnny and Daniel that the schematics all check out, behind the scenes Demetri helped Hawk convince both dojos to work together to build the deck. One subtle nod to the friendship of Demetri and Hawk being back to normal, or an example of their bond being at the strongest, is when they both back-to-back praise Miguel for getting them out of the drive-in fight, with Demetri patting Hawk on the arm. After the Silver confrontation at the dojo, the next day at school, we see Demetri and Hawk talking about Terry Silver before running into Yasmin and Moon. When Demetri tells Hawk what little information he's found on him, the conversation implies that both of them put their heads together again to see what they could do to help the dojo, going back to the roots of being genius-like binary brothers. I think it's also safe to say that since Hawk wanted to take charge and proving his loyalty to both dojos, Demetri had no problem in helping Hawk, as this is his best friend since kindergarten, and it would also result in potentially helping the dojos against Cobra Kai. After parting ways from the girls, Demetri tells Hawk that Yasmin became his girlfriend when he was himself and it somehow worked, as we see this play out for Hawk near the end of the season. This also echoes back to a conversation they had in Season 2 when Hawk was still over Moon dating Piper. Demetri tells Hawk to let it go as she's moved on. When he responds that defeat does not exist, Demetri tells him that attitude is what pushed her away in the first place. This comes full circle because Hawk strayed from who he truly was, and even went against his friend's advice. He pushed Moon further away, but because of Demetri and Miyagi-Do's help, he starts to attract Moon once again by listening to Demetri's advice. Demetri even encourages this when he feels the chemistry between his best friend and Moon by indirectly telling him to pursue Moon again. One of the greatest examples of Demetri's loyalty and friendship to Eli is the pep talk he gives in Kicks Get Chicks. When Hawk becomes a recluse after losing his mohawk, Demetri lets himself in to find out where he's been. During the first half of the conversation, Demetri expresses his belief that Hawk is the champion that Miyagi-Do needs, which he is right about. In a reversal of roles where Hawk didn't care about what people thought and allowed himself to be free while Demetri was still nervous about who he is, Eli is now the one who is embarrassed while Demetri is confident. He states that he shouldn't care what others think, as before he did care about what other people thought, and his hair will always grow back. It's also better than the WWF haircut that he had before. He also reminds Eli that he was forgiven a long time ago, echoing when Miyagi forgave Sato in Karate Kid Part 2. What also proves how deep the loyalty runs is when Demetri is offended at the possibility that his best friend would go to Eagle Fang instead of Miyagi-Do, proving that he's always cared about his friend. During the second half of their conversation, Demetri brings up that it was Eli's idea to take karate. Even when they were on opposite sides, it was the best thing that happened to him because he got stronger, became confident, and gained the girl of his dreams because he wanted to be just like Hawk. Hawk was able to do all of these things before Demetri could, and even when Hawk tried to give him advice on how to do it, Demetri was still reluctant to apply it. This is also relevant because Demetri took karate to defend himself against Hawk, but now is even looking forward to the All Valley tournament because his best friend would be there to fight alongside him, in contrast to prior seasons where he would run from a fight. When we finally see the infamous Binary Brothers video, Demetri uses this to show Eli that no matter what his hair looks like, whatever his name is, or whatever his popularity level is, he will always be his best friend and be there for him. To Demetri, Eli is not defined by his haircut or his past actions because he knows deep down, Eli is a good person. This pep talk pays off as we see Eli being welcomed by Demetri and the rest of Miyagi-Do, further strengthening the loyalty between the Binary Brothers. Initially, when both don't have dates, Demetri stays by Eli's side, echoing back to the Halloween party in Season 1. During the All Valley, Demetri and Eli can be seen cheering for each other's matches in both the qualifying and quarterfinal matches. Eli also shows his support for Demetri by advising that he has the high ground against Robbie, which thanks to this and Daniel's coaching about fundamentals that Demetri takes his time and begins to focus more. Another important piece of the conversation Demetri and Hawk have at the party in Season 2 is also relevant. I think you need a healthy dose of inner peace. It's worked for me. And well, he was right. Let's also talk about his character growth and why he's still a relatable character. From Season 1 to Season 4, in my opinion, Demetri is one of the characters with tremendous growth in the series. A lot of the things he said in Season 1 have either already happened different from how he said they would happen, or are a complete different parallel from where he was then compared to where he is now. For example, when Miguel sits with Eli and Demetri for the first time, the three of them are considered outcasts in comparison to their crushes of Sam, Moon, and Yasmin. All three of the guys would go on to date these girls at different times, even if considering Season 1 alone how outrageous it seemed for Demetri to date Yasmin at the time. When the two interact at the Canyon Party, this is even further proven in how outrageous it seems, considering Demetri is awkward towards Yasmin. However, this soon turns around in Season 3 due to a number of different factors. Yasmin still being bullied because of the wedgie incident, as karma for being cruel to students like Aisha, Demetri being popular for defeating Hawk during the school fight, and Yasmin slowly warming up towards Demetri because of how smart he is and feeling sympathetic towards him being bullied. Yasmin even suddenly hints that Demetri used to be a thorn when Miguel comes back to school, implying that she likes him. As we see in Season 4, this comes full circle as Yasmin is now the admirer from afar, and even flies back all the way from Australia to be at the prom with Demetri because of how much she really likes him. The after party also parallels what happens at the Canyon in Season 1, as now it is Demetri who has the girl and Eli is nervous to talk to Moon, in comparison to Hawk being the one with the girl and Demetri so reluctant to talk to Yasmin. Despite what he says in Different But Same that he would only get a girlfriend as a result of the long game, within a year's time he was able to be himself to get his dream girl. When Miguel tells Eli that he could join Cobra Kai if he's sick of being bullied, Demetri is the first to dismiss karate as being effective and would rather play video games. Even after trying Cobra Kai at first, he quits and realizes he can lean on Miguel if he were to get in trouble, and even reconsiders joining Cobra Kai when Miguel wins the championship for the safety in numbers aspect. As mentioned before, when the situation escalates into a dojo war between Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, Demetri is forced to learn karate to become stronger and self-confident to, instead of leaning on others, he eventually stands up for himself, defends others, and even is excited to compete in a karate tournament, which is a 180 from his former train of thought. Even though he admits he's a Rudy and Kicks Get Chicks, he manages to make it to the semifinals, which is way better than what one might expect he would do in Season 2 or Season 3. You can't help but cheer how far he's come as a person, especially when he was able to apply karate the right way And instead of being inspired by Hawk to do better, he now inspires Hawk to do better when he's at his lowest. Another relatable aspect of his character is how he continues to be the voice of reason and also being there for his friends. For example, Demetri tries to clear out the doubts in Miguel's head about Sam, pointing out that he's overreacting and that Sam hasn't given Miguel a reason not to trust her. And he was right. If Miguel had listened, Sam would have been hit by Miguel, accidentally of course, and the rivalry between him and Robbie could have gone in a different direction. Notice that he's also the one in Season 3 to unite Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang, even going so far as to lead the meeting and coming to an agreement on terms. In the earlier part of his arc, I think it's safe to assume that he would have not been a good recruiter or capable of giving decent pep talks. But in Season 4, he takes the initiative to recruit for Miyagi-Do and at the same time check on and motivate his friend. While it can be argued that him not being confident in being Miyagi-Do's champion is counteractive against his character, ultimately him seeking out Eli was the best thing he could do, as they were able to be there for each other in both training for the tournament and during the tournament itself. After hearing advice from his binary brother and sensei, Demetri is clearly more confident in his ability and gets close to landing a point on Robbie, going so far not to only put him on defense but to even taunt Robbie to try to strike him. This is something we would have never seen from Demetri before and is one of the reasons why his arc is so satisfying, considering the earlier parts of his character development. Demetri has managed to flip the script in his own unique way. He's come to terms with who he really is, go beyond his own expectations, and be a rock for his friends. In my opinion, he's definitely a friend you would love to have rooting for you in your corner. Here are my final thoughts on Demetri and what we could expect from him in the future. Like Season 3, at the end of Season 4, we got to see, albeit for a short amount of time, how awesome a dojo can be when the binary brothers are on the same team. Behind Hawk and Sam, Demetri is clearly the third best fighter that Miyagi-Do currently has at the moment. This is saying a lot considering how slow he initially progressed, his lack of natural athleticism, and although he lost to Robbie, managed to contend with him in the semifinals to the point where he realized he just had to wait out Robbie's attacks and could even taunt him. With Chosen in the picture, Demetri will only get stronger and could maybe one day be on the same level as his peers who made it to the finals. When it comes to Miyagi-Do principles, Demetri has done a great job at holding on to those core principles: forgiveness, compassion, inner peace, and balance. I would love to see how Chosen interacts with Demetri and also more screen time of Demetri and Eli training together. I do love how Season 4 also subtly hinted that the binary brothers took initiative to bring the dojos together with the sparring deck and to find out what they could on Terry Silver. Perhaps in Season 5, we could see a scene where Demetri is able to uncover what Terry has planned for the Valley through his tech-savvy skills, hacking into Silver's secret hard drive and leaking some illegal business operations he has fronts for. Either way, I can't wait to see how the binary brothers hold down the fort. As we saw in Season 4, defense wins championships, and it only makes sense that you have the best software around to prevent a security breach from the binary brothers. Go to nordvpn.com/StrifeTheWarrior or use coupon code StrifeTheWarrior to get a NordVPN 2-year plan with a huge discount. Here's why you need to secure yourself with NordVPN. You can use it to unlock Netflix and your favorite entertainment websites that are not available here in the US. You can connect up to 6 devices at the same time with one account. There is no data logging whatsoever, and it works even in China. If you're out and about and using public Wi-Fi networks in places such as coffee shops and airports, NordVPN will protect you with double data encryption for increased anonymity. As Johnny would say,
I'll be there.
NordVPN works with Windows, macOS, Linux, iOS, and Android, has a Chrome extension which is very user-friendly, and unlimited bandwidth. If you're not happy with it for any reason, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. NordVPN was a 7-time champion in 2021, winning the Business Choice, Reader's Choice, and Best Tech Product of 2021 from PC Mag, Best Android VPN from Android Central, the Best All-Around VPN from Expert Reviews, Best VPN Service from Forbes Advisor, and App Development Team of the Year from App Promotion Summit. It's also the only VPN to get all the green checks on PC Mag. So what are you waiting for? Go to nordvpn.com/StrifeTheWarrior or use coupon code StrifeTheWarrior in checkout to secure yourself with NordVPN. Shout out to NordVPN for giving me the opportunity to be an affiliate. Let me know what you guys think down below. What's in store for Demetri in the future? If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it, subscribe, share it with your friends, and comment, as these all help my channel grow. Be sure to check out and subscribe to my second gaming channel. I'm trying to get this channel to YouTube partner, and supporting this channel also helps me support my main channel. I'll be uploading some more clips pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. I also now stream here on this channel on Fridays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Keep up with me on my socials via Instagram and Twitter. Shout out to my YouTube members, I appreciate the support. If you'd like to directly support the channel, consider becoming a member and enjoy perks such as behind the scenes updates, access to the VIP Discord, shoutouts and videos, and more. Thanks for watching, stay beautiful, stay awesome, and we'll catch you around next time.